Hello, I wanted to make this video to announce that all of my applications are now free. I'll put a link in the description for it. If you go on my Gumroad where all of my applications are hosted, you can find them there. Just to tell you that, let me scroll down to them. I had to separate them out because they're free, one for Windows and one for Mac and Linux. That's for Drawesome 2 and Drawesome 3. The reason I had to do that was just because of the limits that Gumroad allows you to put in a product that's for free. Just to tell you the other thing, Gumroad does collect emails when you sign up for it, but I would rather, I don't use that. When I say that, I mean I would rather you subscribe to my email newsletter on my website rather than do it that way. That's the better way to follow me. Nothing against Gumroad, but it's just a bit weird. I know people don't like it when it does that, but that's just how Gumroad tends to work. But yeah, if you want to follow me, either bookmark my website, subscribe to my YouTube channel, or sign up for my newsletter. I wanted to talk why they're free. So, I made some videos in the past, kind of like talking about AI stuff, and I've been thinking a lot about it. I've seen how do I put it? If it truly learned, and if the information wasn't all based off of stolen data, I feel like it would be a much different case. But something I have to constantly remind myself is that the way they made these models for training their AI is all through pretty much taking data from everywhere they possibly could. And when they did so, they didn't ask these people, and basically the models are good at replicating certain artists. So what ends up happening is that you can make you could pretty much steal anyone's style. I hate to say it. I mean, you can take artists' work, replicate them, and pretty much pay the owner of whoever is running the AI model over the artist. And I feel like because of that, it greatly hurts artists. And that's like my major issue now. Like, there's just no protection, and it's all stolen. I mean, it's very crazy to think about it. And I should have thought more about it, because originally, a lot of people used it. When I say a lot of people, I mean your chat GPTs and stuff. And I guess I would say I didn't think about it. But the thing is, anyone who's using it is training it. And it's just all those code problems were pretty much scraped from the internet from various places, particularly places that people probably contributed online free. So it's I'm gonna say it like this, in which probably a lot of people didn't know that they were contributing to a bunch of free labor before they did it. And it's not like people were going to get credit for this labor. It's not like you're going to get paid, but it's like a lot of it is just set off that, and it's pretty maddening, you can say. I mean, it's just I don't know. It bothers me, and that's a big reason why I made the applications free. I feel like in this day and age, artists could they need all the help they can get. I mean, I guess you could say I feel like a lot of the advent of this is causing a lot of nihilism, and because basically anything anyone does is just going to be used by the AI in some way to automate them. So I feel like it causes a bit of a state of helplessness, if I could say it that way. That's kind of how I tend to view it, because when I get into debates with people about it, their solution is that this is just a new way of doing things, and this is the future. I'm like, well, that you just ignored the problem at hand. That people aren't getting credit for this. It's not going to tell you where it got the data from, even though it may know. Yeah, it's very discouraging. It's you know, and I guess I'm not even sure what to say about it other than it's discouraging. Yeah, I wish there was just a better solution to it all. But I guess a lot of this is a history of the world in which everything's stolen in some way. Not justifying it, but just like the way things go. Um, it's really weird. It's just very. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be so surprised by it. Um, Maybe I shouldn't be, but maybe I just am surprised by it when I really shouldn't be. But yeah, I hope these applications can help artists succeed in some way. Um, you know, I feel like a lot of these applications, I spent a lot of time making them. Um, I had to, I used them myself, so I guess you could say it's a bit different. It's like not only did I make it, but I also used it, and I know sometimes that kind of goes without saying, but when I say that, I mean like I would use it every day, for long periods of time. So it's like sometimes I would find, uh, sometimes I would run into bugs that were really difficult to debug. Sometimes I had to make a debug build, in which a debug build is just like, well, basically it's just a build that has a special window open for a thing called a console, which lets me see the log messages to see what's going wrong. So I spent a lot of time dealing with those, working out a lot of the bugs. I hate to say it, but even through everything I've done, I still have run into certain bugs that I just couldn't solve. If I had to give an example, sometimes if you're like dealing with a drawing tablet, sometimes context could be lost. When I say context, I mean if you like click into like Drawesome 2, if you're like on the screen and you click out of it, then you click out on it again, you may not be able to click anything with pet, like if you have a mouse, like not a mouse, like the pen cursor, if you're using the touch screen. Instead you'll have to go to the computer mouse and kind of like click out of the context, click back in the context of the window again, so you can be able to use it again. Looking into that bug, it appears that it's just like I something with Windows Ink. When I say Windows Ink, I think it has to do with the way the drivers work. So I think it's just like a no fix. I hate to say it. It's really bizarre. To run in the bugs that I can't fix, sometimes, well, I also use Electron. If you're not familiar with what Electron is, a lot of my applications, like the way they work, they use a toolkit. And basically, the reason why I used that toolkit was so that my applications would work on, so I'd be able to easily like make it on one machine and put it on the other. So surprise, that doesn't always work, and I had to put in a lot of extra code to get it to work on different machines, which is really, really funny. But I did get it working, is what I would say. Even though I more test my applications on Windows machines, just because I use Windows for drawing more. I have used Mac for it. It's okay, but it's kind of like I've realized that I think there's more software for Windows in general, and some of the software that I really like is like only on Windows, odd enough. I mean, I'm wrong on that, but you may or may not understand what I'm saying. But yeah, I hope these applications can really help. Drawesome 2 is for people who are like probably more into figure drawing and all of that, and Drawesome 3 is like an accumulation of all my knowledge, basically turning a video into a slideshow, or you could just go through a given video frame by frame. The only downside to that is you have to download the video and then open it through the application. I did not implement like a way to put URLs to do that to videos, although I very well could. I don't do that because I don't want any of the applications being connected to the internet in any way. When you do that, sometimes, like, basically it's just to be safe. That's pretty much how I would put it. Because you don't want these things, like, how do I put it? The applications I do have, they're done in a special way to avoid it's like a thing called sandboxing, and the technique is basically to prevent, like, anything bad from happening, and it operates in a way that, like, I'm not sure how to say it. Well, Electron's like, you could think of it like a web browser, but like a safer web browser, because it doesn't connect to the internet. But the thing about that is it can, and you have to be very careful with what you do when you do that, because you have to think about security. So I opted in not to do that because of the sheer amount of, like, you would have to be pushing out updates all the time. And, like, that's actually kind of funny, because originally I thought of making it so Drawesome 2 and Drawesome 3 were somehow online. Like, I did think of that. Surprisingly, an application I never made. I was going to call it Drawesome 2.5. I know, not too clever. I was going to make 2.5 and 3.5. But I never did, just because I couldn't make any deals to get model images or videos for that, and it was more trouble than it was worth, in my opinion. And the other thing is, like, I don't have full time to commit to this. I mean, it's all, free software. I feel like people who make free software these days, it's already hard enough for them to just make it and to put time into it. Meanwhile, everyone wants you to do a thing called code signing, which, yeah, I understand it, but the fact that you have to pay, like, when I did the calculation for it, I was going to have to pay, like, over $1,000 a year. And in addition to that, I probably have bitched and moaned about that enough in my life. That, but in short, if I was going to do that, it was going to cost me a lot of money. And it's just, like, I already put, I don't mean to sound like this, but it's like I already put a lot of time in everything else I do, and the fact that I would actually have to pay money, I mean, every year, it was just too big of an expense. I mean, I'm already paying for my website and all the other stuff that I do, so that was kind of the issue why I never went further with that. If you'll see a lot of other applications these days not code signing their applications as well. It's all related to money, I would say. It's really strange, because even, like, HTTPS, you can get your website secure for free, but it's like, getting apps secured for free, it's like, it's so bizarre. But I'm trying to think what else to talk about here. I guess use these applications in good health. I know, like, I did hear of a functionality with YouTube that you could step through frame by frame, but YouTube adds all this extra crap in it, and unless you're paying for a subscription to it, it's really annoying, is what I'd say. YouTube isn't what it used to be. No offense to it, but it's just it's hard to use, and that's kind of like the big idea for why I made Drawesome 3. So, like, you're not being bombarded by advertisements all the time. I'm going to open it now just to show you what it looks like. But yeah, I did add some features to it recently. I don't know why it's not appearing on this one. Just to tell you the features that I did add to it, I added a way that you could... oh, wait, it's there. Oh, I know why. It is there. I'm just... Okay, I'm sorry about this. Great. It is here. I was like, wait a minute, why is it not appearing? I'm trying to fit a lot of functionality into Drawesome 3. So, because of that, if you're working on a smaller one, it may not show all of the settings. The solution is just to temporarily go to a bigger one, then go to a smaller one to get rid of it. But in short, the big features that I added was the ability to flip the video. Oops. You could turn it in the grayscale and back to color again. Oh, I also separated out the pause play buttons instead. There was a technical reason for this. It's kind of weird. Pretty much the reason for it was because of the UI, because I felt like I needed to fit all the UI on the screen, and I'm trying to remember what I did here. There was a technical reason for it, and I will remember it. I think it had to do with, wow, I cannot remember why I did that, but just know there was a reason for it. I think I was just trying to fit all the UI on the same screen, but I just couldn't. But yeah, I do apologize for that. But it is a pretty good application overall, is what I would say. I tried to make it as user-friendly, as bug-free, and straight to the point when it came to use for it. So I do hope it really helps you out in pretty much for animations, I would say. I mean, I guess you could use it for any type of study, but animation is what I think Drawesome 3 would be for. And Drawesome 2 is for, you know, people who are doing, like, figure drawing and stuff. And I think it's a really good application. Like, this one, all I'll say is when I made this, I implemented this feature into Drawesome, in the original Drawesome application I made, which I'll just call Drawesome 1 for simplicity. But I was like, the second I finished adding all those features in the Drawesome 1, I was like, I can make this better. So I did, and I spent so much time making this. But yeah, I really spent a lot of time and a lot of debugging, trying to fit it all, try to make it clean as possible. So yeah, do use it in good health. If you have any questions for me, please ask in the comments. I put all the links on my website to the new updated ones, or you can just go into the description of this video to go to the Gumroad for it. But yeah, I hope it helps you. And if you have any questions, please ask in the comments. If you like the video, please like it. And yeah, if there's anything else, just let me know. But yeah, all of my artist applications are free. Yeah, don't, you know, if never, I'm not really sure what else to say. Thanks for listening. Bye.